Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, and this is Skyrim SE Retired Slow Play, part number 29. And when we last left, we had just found Shalador's writings in a cave and rescued some guy that got stuck down there. And the next thing that we're going to do is go to Darkfall Cave, trying to locate Ariel's bowl. And this is quite a long ways from where we currently are, but it kind of makes the best sense to head on there. As my newer viewers may not know, I do not fast travel. I only ride my horse and run or whatever to get where I'm going. And so I have to kind of maximize my quests and locations so that I'm not running around all over the map all the time. I also want to mention that I'm not a professional sound engineer. However, I do have two very noisy cats who are extremely affectionate. They're long-hair Siamese or Balinese, and so they sometimes sit by my chair and holler at me. So I wanted to note here that I found this interesting little place here. It was a chest, which I don't steal things from chests, but I thought it was interesting. How often do you see chests that outside that are belong to someone else? Thought this was really curious. You can't sleep on the pallet. I can't open the chest. I thought, who did that belong to? It wasn't the guy in the cave because he took off. So very strange there. I don't see that very often. So as I was starting to explain, I don't fast travel anywhere, and so I'm constantly looking at my map. I'm constantly trying to figure out where I'm going. My follower is Serena. I have 3 mods. You can see them in the description down below. One of the best ones here is the convenient horses that lets my followers ride horses along with me. And it also gives me backpacks so I can carry a little more stuff with me. And I don't use any kind of cheats, and like I said, only a couple more mods. I have the Unofficial patch, which I guess is technically a mod. I also use quality roads, which really is helping me be lost less, is the best way to put it. I think I'm only lost about 15% of what I used to be lost, so that's an improvement. That's a great mod. It doesn't show some of the really tiny pathways and things, but it shows most of the roads, and it's made me be lost less, because otherwise I would just go wandering off and get turned around. I still do quite a bit, but not as much as I used to. As far as me doing it, I don't care if it was just me playing, but because I'm recording this for the people to watch, I thought, maybe it would be better to not be lost as much. When I do get lost, I try to speed up the video or whatever so that you don't have to suffer along in silence. So I also want to take a moment while I'm coming down the mountain here to really thank my subscribers. You're really encouraging me to continue, and I appreciate that. I appreciate comments and suggestions. When I make when I make some kind of comment and someone actually responds to something I said, it tells me that somebody is paying attention. Somebody's finding value in what I'm doing. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for fun. I'm also doing it to encourage myself, to have motivation for myself to continue through the end. I've never completed Skyrim, ever. I've been playing it for 11 years. Since 11/11/11, well, shortly thereafter, I was out of town on a, that was a weird thing, wasn't it? I was out of town for a family funeral when it came out, but my husband picked it up from GameStop for me, and I played it shortly thereafter, and I've been playing it all these years. But I don't know what the word is. There's things about Skyrim that I don't like. I love so much of it. I don't like the cold. So So I don't want to drive you crazy with that. By the way, I just went by my house. I want to everyone to take note that I just went by my house without stopping. So you should be proud of me. That was so hard to do. So anyway, I there's so many things I love about the game. There's certain things I don't, and so then something new and shiny comes along, and I end up stopping for a while. I have a lot of games that I play, as many of you I'm sure do, and so I'll play something else for 6-8 months or whatever, or play 3 or 4 games for a year and then come back. Well, the problem that I have was when I do that, when I come back, I'm completely lost on what I was doing. It's been way too long. I have moderate short-term memory loss, and so it's like I have no idea. I could look at the quest logs, but it doesn't get me back immersed where I was before I quit. So I thought doing this video series would help me be able to get motivation to keep going and to complete the game, which to me to complete the game means that I've joined all the factions that I want to join. And like, for instance, I am the Archmage of the Mage College, so that was something I wanted to complete. This Dawnguard DLC, which I absolutely love, it's like the most amazing additional content that was added. I mean, that obviously I've got Serena followed me, so that is amazing, and we're getting fairly close. I don't know how much closer. I can't remember. I think I one time. Maybe, I don't know if I've ever completed it. So I want to complete that. I want to get more involved in the Civil War and see where that takes us. So there's lots of things that I haven't even tapped into hardly any of the local quests in the various towns. There's so many. And then, not to mention the ones along the road where you stop along the road and someone gives you a quest. So what I'm doing here is I think I have some things to sell, so I went ahead and stopped to see some things that I can sell. So I'm hoping that between my motivation to continue with this series, which is my first ever playthrough series, I've never done this before. And I got encouraged by a whole lot of people, including our beloved Grandma Shirley, which is, anybody who plays Skyrim knows who Grandma Shirley is. My son, who is a sound design engineer with a large gaming company, and my husband, who doesn't understand games at all, but supports my habit, and passion, and addiction, or whatever you would like to call it. Oh, good, the claw's back on the counter. I knocked it off last time we were in here, and I thought, oh no, is it going to lay on the floor forever? Apparently not. Someone picked it up and put it back on there. So between all those encouragements, I started doing this, and now I'm addicted to making videos. This is number 29. And so hopefully that'll help me keep going. There's goat horns. I'm so glad I found those goat horns. The reason is I don't like killing tame animals like the deer and the bunnies and the goats, chickens. I don't like killing them. However, our house needs goat horns, a lot of goat horns. So I was very happy to see that at a general store they carry goat horns. So I'm going to be looking for those and try to buy as many as we can find. We need them for a number of things, including like the chandeliers and the wall scones in our house that we're building. So I'll be looking for those. Isn't that interesting that I could sell that canicle bark? That tells me that we're completely done with it. Also, that draw knife, no value to it, but I could get rid of it. It's like I didn't need it anymore. That beautiful glade that we went to, the ancestral glade, that was something. That was one of the most beautiful places that I've seen in Skyrim. It blew me away. So anyway, until next time, as Lucian says. So we stopped in there and sold a few things and got some more gold in our pocket and on to our next destination. As I'm trying to figure out where that might be.
I know you.
They keep saying, I know you. The ones that it was in Whiterun, they said that.
Wait, I know you.
This sounds
You're a
ominous.
wanted woman, and it's time to pay for your
A
crimes.
wanted what did I do? I have a bounty of 5 gold. What did I don't recall doing anything.
Oh, forgive me, Thane.
Oh, well,
I
look at
didn't
that.
realize it was
We
you.
tell him that we're the
We looked
Jarl's
the other way
staying.
this
He's
time.
like, oh,
Let
sorry.
the Jarl's influence have
Isn't
your
that
way.
bizarre?
Be more careful.
I don't remember. Look at Serena. She's so cool. Sitting there leaning against the post. I don't know what I did. I hate that. I don't know if I just missed it on the screen, like if it told me that that was a bad thing to do. I don't know why I had a bounty. It really bothers me that I don't know what I did, because I try so hard to be a very virtuous character, and that comes from playing the Ultima game series by Richard Garriott, which at some point I may cover some of that. Richard Garriott had this whole thing about being virtuous, playing yourself in the world, playing a good person in the world. And so I've always I went through a whole, that was my first game in which I could play a female character ever. And that was back in, and I don't remember the year, mid 90s sometime. And so it was ingrained in me that that you're playing yourself. Richard Garriott was the first person to use the word avatar as it pertains to a character on the screen being an embodiment of your own self, and that you would make choices, that character would make choices based on your own self. And being in the Ultima series, you are a hero, and heroes don't do things like steal and kill innocent people and things like that. So that was ingrained in me from the very first game, real RPG type game that I ever played, not counting Legend of Zelda, of course. So when I started playing these other games, I always play that way. I always play a very virtuous character. I do not steal. I do not kill innocent people unnecessarily at all. I mean, we killed Greylaw, the whatever her name was. She was not a good person. She was an innocent person. She was horrible. She would demean small orphans, not just children, but orphans who didn't have their parents. And she was just a horrible person. So, I only had just a second twinge of, I don't like doing this. And then I went, yeah, I really do. She was horrible to children. And, they had a hard enough life without her being so awful to them. So that's the only semi-innocent person that we've killed. And hopefully that'll be the last. We did take out the Dark Brotherhood. If you haven't watched previous episodes, sorry for the spoiler alert that I didn't give you. Dark Brotherhood is no longer in existence. And some of the guards are like, oh, we really, yeah, you're great. You're a hero because you took out the Dark Brotherhood. So I play a virtuous character. So it really bugged me that I had a bounty on my head. It's like that just isn't cool. That made me mad. So I stopped by here to look for more things that we need for building our house. We're starting to need a few things that we can't find enough along the way, and that would be straw, glass. Trying to think of what goat horns, and so I checked him, and he didn't have those things. I thought, well, let's check with her too. I think she's a daughter. I'm not sure. I keep missing what she says. Ingots. I mean, we've got quite a few, I think, on hand, and we can keep buying them from Balamont. And so in the beginning, when I first started playing, I was absolutely adamant that I wouldn't buy any for a while. So I kept collecting them, even though we hadn't purchased our land to build our house yet. So eventually you get to the point where it's like, okay, if I'm going to build this house at all, I need more ingots. Lots more ingots. So we're going to check here. We're going to check for glass and straw and goat horns are the things we're looking for. And look at there, glass. We find it. And I'm like, yeah. And goat horns, I found a whole bunch of goat horns. I was very happy about that. So I went to double check and see if we've got anything that we're not using that we could sell. What about? Yeah, I just don't use a lot of these type of potions. Mostly, major health, definitely cure disease. Don't want to become a vampire ever. So as soon as I get that red screen that says, "Hey, you've been poisoned," I cure myself as soon as I can. So anyway, I'm just double checking. You saw those Nern roots. I'm a Nern root addict. If I hear one, I'm gonna grab it. So anyway, I was just double checking. We got over 30,000 gold, and that's great. The things that I plan to use my gold for, eventually we're going to have houses all over the map. But my homestead, my home, where I'll be displaying my stuff, where I'll be doing, if I do alchemy, if I do enchanting, all of the stuff, all of the supplies will all be in that Lakeview Manor house. That's my favorite house. I love building it from scratch. And what I was thinking about here is I really wanted to get a house Carl. And I knew that there was one up here that offered, so I thought that I would double check. After I recorded this, I posted something about it on Reddit because it appears that you can't get a house Carl if you have a follower. And it was Lydia who I was asking.
Honor to you, my Thane. As my Thane, I'm sworn to your service.
Okay, and so that's what I'm looking for here. Having a little chat. Thought she'd be a good person to.
Looks like you've already got someone with you.
So, I found out through Reddit that what I have to do is dismiss Serena, and then come back here, get her, and then we'll have an option for her to be a house Carl. So that kind of sucks. Because I'm afraid I'll lose her. So someone made a good suggestion. Save your game, go back and dismiss her, go back and get Lydia, take Lydia to your house, and then go back and find Serena. Supposedly they go back to wherever you got them from. Since I got her at Fort Dawnguard, in theory that's where she should be. If you know better than that, please do let me know. So at some point I will try that experiment and run around and do all those things. So I don't want to lose my Serena. She's the best follower for me. I know she has magic, and you're supposed to have, someone that does something different than what you do. But I like her. I like her a lot. I feel bad for her. I feel like she was a pawn between her parents.
If it's work you need,
and
how about shop?
it's like, where would she go home to? Her father?
Sure thing. It's
No.
yours for a day.
He became a monster, and as she explained, he didn't used to be that way. And her mother, who is hidden down in the Soul Cairn, says she will not come out until her husband is dead, because it's not. She said that's not him anymore. That was interesting. I asked about something, and this person, Hulda, told me about the Azura shrine. So we're going to check that out. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the unlimited soul gem, which I haven't, I haven't gotten into a good habit of using my stabs. I really should start watching the stabs that come into my hands and see if I can use them more. Although it doesn't increase your skills, I don't think, when you use them. Tell me if I'm wrong about that. The Shrine of Azura. So at some point we're going to stop by there and check that out. I'm pretty sure that's the unlimited soul gem, which, then we wouldn't have to carry around soul gems. Although you need a few, but certainly not as many as I've been carrying around. And if I start using my stabs more, then I'll need them more. But having an unlimited one certainly would be useful. And I believe I have that spell, Soul Trap. And I also have a dagger that is Soul Trap. I'm pretty sure. And I think I might have disenchanted something that had Soul Trap as well. So we'll think about that. We may incorporate that into our play a little bit. For new viewers, I play on very easy. I don't, it's not, look at all these people that hang around here all night long. Even these children hang around here all night long. And then when you get up in the morning, oh, someone challenged me to a drinking contest. Plus there's Delphine there. It's like, good heavens, this is a very busy place. Delphine keeps telling me to meet her somewhere, and I'm going to eventually, but I don't want to get on that part of the game yet. But this dude, he challenged me to a drinking contest. And I thought about it. I thought, I'm kind of, look at her sit down. She said, I'm going to watch this. And I'm thinking, no, I think I'll come back to that. I mean, there's so many questions, so many towns. I thought that one was fascinating. But anyway, what I was trying to say is look at all those people that hung out at the tavern all night long. And then in the morning, they all get up and go to work. It's like, where are you people hanging out at the tavern? Okay, so onward that we go to our next destination. I think that we need to go find Ariel's bow, and kind of this is part of the Dawnguard quest line, which is the vampires and the getting rid of the vampire problem, and that's what Serena is all part of. And so I think that we should go find that bow, and don't know what that's going to tell. Look at my horse, bless his heart. Oh, I forgot something, so I turned around and went back. I'm like, sorry guys, wait, let's go back for a second. I'm sure you've all done that a time or two.
Got some good. I don't claim to be the
Adriana.
best. Take a look. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
Uh-oh, we're not open yet. Maybe the general store is open. And it is. General goods.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
Oh, so
Everything's
helpful
for
and
sale.
friendly.
Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Straw, that was it. I need straw. You need straw to make a number of things at your house. One of them, an important one, is beds. I need to make beds for the children that I want to adopt. And until I have them, they don't have anywhere. I don't think I can adopt them yet because I don't have beds. Maybe it'll let me, I don't know. But that was something I had forgot to look at when I was there. So I need to remember to check these generals. I need to check the blacksmiths, and I need to check the general stores for glass, goat horns, and straw. Those are the things that I need a lot of that I'm not finding. I think in the very beginning I found some glass. I don't recall finding any in the last very long time. So it's okay. We built the outside structures and the outside of the additions to the house, the entire thing, with ore that we found or mined ourselves and smelted. So I felt pretty good about that I had gotten that far. So as you can see, our quest log is not too bad. I hate getting it so full that you can't figure out what the heck you're doing, and I'm getting really close to the miscellaneous ones. It's like, oh my gosh, where is this one? This one was nearby. I hate having full quest logs, and the downside of that is that you end up transversing back and forth across the land over and over and over again, trying to complete some of these logs or some of these quests. So I decided to go find the Amren's family heirloom. It looked like it was really close by. So if you come out of the stables and you turn left, there's a bridge right there at the end of this road, end of the road here, and I'm pretty sure that wherever I'm supposed to go is right there. So I decided to run over there and see if we can't get that off our task list, quest list, same difference. Get that one off of there. So coming on down this way, I don't know how far it is, but I'm pretty sure that it's the end of this road down here. there's a bridge, and I think if I go straight across, because normally I'm heading left or I'm heading right, I don't think I hardly ever go straight. So, and look right there, we had a dragon flying around. It's like, okay, so because we went this way, we have a dragon attack and a dragon that we can kill. So we haven't killed very many dragons, and you get dragon souls from killing dragons. I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to get one. He seems to be landing, so we can hit him. Supposedly, when dragons are on the ground, you could do more damage, or if you can get them to land, and you get them to land by hitting them. And I thought, why don't we get one of our staves out? Because we can hit them pretty easily with it. It's just a regular dragon. It's not like a special one that's... Look at this guy. Look at this big ugly guy. Like, you know what, dude? Oh, you can just do that all you want. But you're going down. Quickly. Actually, I think he was already dead. So I keep hitting him. So it's like, okay, well, we just collect ourselves a dragon soul. For those of you who haven't played this part or played this at all, you collect a dragon soul. You can use it when you find words of power. These I call them word walls. But I get a word wall and it gives me some kind of a word of power. The way I utilize that is I use a dragon soul to be able to use that word of power. I haven't gotten too much into that. I read somebody on Reddit recently said that they never use their shouts. And I should more. And also, anytime I get dragon bones, if I think of it, if Serena's nearby, and she usually is, I like to give her my dragon bones. And I don't think I did. Did I forget? Oh, and these guards are like, wow, that was so cool.
This better not be all the things you just
Oh,
can't be
stop
bothered
it, Serena. So I'm going to give her my dragon bones. They're very heavy. As you can see, I'm 246 before I give her the bones. And let's see what we are after. Yeah, like 200. So it took almost about 50 weight away from me. So that's good. She can hang on to them until we get to a place that we can sell them. So it's like, okay, let's continue on our journey. I am so grateful that I decided to do this quest. So I can not run into a wall there. Because it got us a dragon soul. So that was awesome. So back on the road again to go find that heirloom that we need to find. Every once in a while you're going to hear a metal sound. What that is I use metal tea balls in my tea. So sometimes I'm trying to very quietly get a sip of my tea. You're going to hear my tea ball kind of shaking around. So sorry about that. So it looks like it's just right up ahead here. I've never been there before. I don't remember doing this quest before, but I thought, okay, let's go see. And there's a little pathway. Well, how convenient is that? It's like, okay, stay on the path. Don't go up the side of the mountain. Try to stay on a path. What I hate is when the path is the wrong one. But this case, it was the right one. White River Watch was the name of it. And there's bandits attacking us. Dude walked right up. That was rude. As Serena says, we'll show you some manners. Actually, we'll show you your death. Didn't see Serena anywhere at this point, but that's okay. A note, huh? We carry around so many notes. But I try to read them as soon as I can because I lose track of what they are. Note to Rudolph. What does it say? What is it? Strange. Not sure what that's about. That's okay. Let's find out what we got here. Maybe we got chests or something. And I don't know if all the bandits are dead. There's a little chest. Novice can open it. We got 53 lockpicks. It should be able to open right away. And it does. 37 gold. Not bad. Our lockpicking is at 42, so that's pretty good. We're level 15. We'll be level 16 character before long. So we're going to go ahead and check up here real quick. Oh, there's another dead guy that I got. He has absolutely nothing on him. Don't see anything. You notice I don't check barrels and sacks. Those are full of food. So I'm looking back and I can see Serena is way off to the right. Did you see her? She's like stuck way off to the right where we killed that dragon. It's like, I'm not sure what was going on with her. She like stuck in the dragon. It's like, oh, that's not good. So I make an executive decision that I'm not going to wait for Serena. Sometimes if I go into a cave or something, wherever she's at, she'll get unstuck and join me. And I thought, you know what? And sometimes I rode my horse. I look back, she's still there. It's way off to the right in the distance. I thought, well, that's okay. You know, we've saved a number of times around this, so I figured, you know, it's okay. If something happens, I can't get her back, I can always reload to that save right there and go back down and pick her up. And I come in here, and there's a guy sitting here peacefully.
Who's that?
He's Ulfar the
Rudolph?
Blind.
That
And
you?
Rudolph's that you? Yeah,
Boss was
that's
looking
me.
for you. Said he'd be up at the summit. Better not keep him
Okie
waiting.
dokie. So, innocent? Is he an innocent? I don't know. It's funny. It's his blank book. It's a blank book. Well, he's blind, so how would he know the difference? So, I thought, you know what? He may or may not be innocent, but I don't need to kill him. Because if I had said you're next, then we got to fight, and I'm killing a blind guy. That just does not seem fair. By the way, that's where I was thinking that I'd seen glass was in chests and things, or in cupboards and cabinets. So I'll be making sure that I, you know, very diligent about that to save ourselves some money. So anyway, I felt like killing him would have been uncool. So we're not going to do that. Not a blind guy who completely defenseless, at least as far as I could tell. So we're going to wander up here and find this heirloom, this family heirloom. And some bandits. You know, bandits aren't usually too tough. Again, playing them very easy. I think I started to mention about this before for my new listeners that I don't like to fight. I don't like to worry about dying. I hate reloading from dying, and so to me it's like I'd much rather play on easy and enjoy the game, enjoy the journey, enjoy the quests, enjoy the storyline and the people. I want to enjoy all those things. Dying is not something that I want to participate in. So, especially for you know, a playthrough that I'm recording that for other people to watch. I mean, how not fun would it be to watch someone die over and over again and reload over and over again? I'm just not a very good player. I'm not a good fighter. So, you know, I choose to just not participate in death is the best way of putting it. So I'm playing on very easy mode, and sometimes every once in a while it's like, oh, that was just too easy. But I haven't been motivated to change it yet. I probably should at some point just to see how it is. I know I really look up to people who play on Legendary, and then there's people that are playing on Legendary and Survival mode, and it's like, holy cow, that's hardcore. Glad I turned around there. I saw a chest had 53 gold, so that was a nice little chest. You know, it's certainly a lot better than 1 or 2 gold that we had been finding in the beginning. So still looking around for this thing that got taught. Alchemy lab. Interesting place for an alchemy lab. It's like, okay, what is this place? Why? Who's in here? So I do take any children things that I find, clothes and dolls. I think at some point you start finding wooden swords or toy swords. I can't remember what they say, what they call them, and those are for children. And look at that. So they've got some kind of an animal in there. And he says he hopes that it won't kill them. So he's got a cage with an animal in it. That's what I heard him say. And I see a chain on the wall. So I'm thinking, wonder what's in there that they are so concerned about. I pull the chain, and it does indeed open a cage, and it lets out something that's killing them. Like, okay, we're gonna let that do our job for us. Looked like there had been 4 bandits. Now that it looks like there's only 2. Well, there's 2 mean evil things after. I don't know one of them is that wolf or not. And here it comes after us. Or does it? Does it leave? I don't know where it went. Not sure, but it killed a bunch of these bandits. Oh, but it did come back. It bit me and went by me and went up to the top. I don't know. So it's like, okay, that was totally worth it to let that thing out so it could take some of them out. And I wanted to take a look in here and make sure a healing potion was tucked back in there. The poor wolf, I almost feel sorry for it. Even though I hate wolves, you've heard me complain about them all the time. They're annoying and you get, nothing for them. So, as I mentioned, I don't usually check the barrels because barrels mostly have food, which I'm not playing survival mode. I don't role play that I have to eat, which is probably not, consistent. Oh, hello, bandit. Did you get distracted or lost? Or what happened to you? So, there's a whole bunch of dead ones up here, so looks like that wolf helped me out quite a bit. So we'll just take our bounty from our wolf. And keep climbing up. Seems to be our direction our pointer is telling us for this item that we're looking for. But remember, I'm going to check these wardrobes. You never know. Wardrobes and side tables. You just never know in those. I don't ever recall seeing any glass in a barrel. Those are generally food items. I mean, after you do that a dozen times. White River Overlook. So I don't know what that is. Oh, it's just exactly what it said it was. It's an overlook. Uh-oh. That must be the boss. Oops. He was the boss. And a big chest is down here. So, and a coin purse with 41 gold. Thank you very much. What do we got? There's the family heirloom and some gold and some lockpicks. And a circlet of archery worth over 900. I think currently we're getting about 50%. So, that's going to be a 450 item or so. So that was worth it. He had 100 gold on him. Plus, look at these gauntlets worth 444. So, yeah. Sure, I'm glad he didn't fall off the side of the mountain. He had a journal on him. I think it's fascinating that bandits and bandit bosses would keep a journal. Okay. He's blind, but he's not deaf. A couple of them got away, and I don't know who they were, if we'll come across them. And he didn't believe that there were actually dragon attacks. Okie dokie. You should follow me sometime. I saw no need to keep that. If it was a quest item, I wouldn't have been able to drop it. That's the way I look at it. I've got so many books and notes that are such a pain. And by the way, if you were a fast traveler, you could have fast traveled off there. I'm not. I got to go back the way I came. And that's no big deal to me because of my rule. It's okay. It's a little bit more realistic. all about the immersion. That's a big deal to me. And I really should do things like eat, things like that. If I'm gonna role play, I should role play, right? The more and more I read about survival mode, I mean, I actually asked that question on Reddit, and some people absolutely love it, and other people not so much. That it's too brutal, that the cold part is really a pain, but you can wear warm clothes. I don't know. I keep going back and forwards. I haven't made a decision. So I'm looking, and Serena finally got herself free, it looks like. So I'm not sure exactly what that was about. Maybe she got caught in the dragon's arms or something. And as I mentioned, not being a sound engineer and not wanting to invest in the software that I would need to add to my software, my video editing software, to take out those background noises. You're going to hear some really loud birds on the days I have my house open, which is a day like today. It's like they're very tiny birds with really big squawks. And my husband's like, well, maybe you just shut the house up. I'm thinking, no, it adds ambiance. Sometimes we have big storms. I love to have the house open when there's storms, lightning and thunder. And it's really a double lucky if it happens to be storming in the game at the same time. It's like, it's a bigger storm. So today it's just noisy birds. Finally my cats went to sleep. So when I'm actually playing the game, I'm completely immersed in what I'm doing. The world ceases to exist. Most of the time I even have headphones on. So I am the character Rhiannon, and that is my house. That is my family. Serena's my friend. And I'm finding out I'm something called Dragonborn and learning what that is. And I swear another dragon just flew overhead. Those clouds go overhead and it freaks me out. So, that's how I play. Now, when I'm talking to you like this, I'm obviously not immersed. I'm watching myself play. I'm seeing my mistakes, but I'm giving a commentary of my play session, which is a very fascinating thing. It really adds something very different to the game that I've never experienced. It's a commentary on my play. I noticed that the person who asked me to find the heirloom was this guy that had been standing at the front, I think.
Mercenary work?
And we found it.
I've been looking for that blade for months.
I did, because Serena was stuck with the dragon and everything, so...
Here, my father had a favorite sword and shield technique.
So he's going to teach me something as a thanks. So I give him the heirloom, and he increased my blocking skill. So, well, thank you. I don't usually block. I never block. I don't think I've ever one time done a block motion. Ever. So, thank you anyway. It increased my skill. And that's like, okay, I better reset my goals here. I don't have any. Just so you know, when you have a miscellaneous one that you're doing, you have to click both the item in the miscellaneous list and you have to click the miscellaneous on the left. You got to do both of those or the pointer won't show where you're going. So again, I keep checking myself. Where do I have to go? And it's pretty far up. It's pretty far north, northwest of where we are. And that's okay. To me, it's really important to get to this. So, I could be picking up extra quests along the way, but I'm kind of more focused. I wouldn't say singularly focused, because every time I walk by my house, I have to stop. Except for that one time. It's like, one time I didn't. Because I always have stuff, I've got straw and glass, which means I can make some chandeliers and some, any of the display cases need glass. So I really got to make a mental note every single time I come by anywhere that's got a general store. I got to look for glass and straw, and then I'm gonna probably keep it. Well, ingots, so on the ingots. It gives me lots of carry weight, but my husband Balaman sells them. I'd rather buy them from him. So that way, if I do that, if I've got an expensive weapon, then that makes his gold go way up, and I can, like I had sold that nettle something, whatever it was, that big giant axe mace thing, I don't know what it was, that we got as a reward. I was able to sell that to him for much more than I could of any other merchant, because I had bought some, I don't know what it was, ingots from him that got him up over 2,000, and he could afford to buy that thing from me. So I gotta remember that. Of course, there comes a time I'm not going to need any more iron ore to build my house. It'll be done someday. I've never actually completed it 100%. I think what I get hung up on is I can't find a flawless sapphire, and you need one of those for those shrines. I'm building one of each of the shrines in the basement of my house, and that flawless sapphire has hung me up. That's as close as I've ever gotten to completion, I think, is that item. If you happen to know where I can find a flawless sapphire, please put it in the comments. I'd rather find it sooner rather than later, so I would appreciate your input. I don't know if there's, without stealing, can you find one without stealing? Is there a quest somewhere or whatever? I'm seeing flawless everything else. My pack is full of them, and I probably ought to dump them somewhere because I don't, or in my house. I don't want to sell them yet because I'm pretty sure that there's a quest or something that needs them. Plus, I've used a few in making some other shrines, I think. So I've got a good selection of them, except for one, and that's the flawless sapphire. Of course, having said that, I haven't tapped into a fraction of the quests in this game. If you've noticed, I'm almost never in the far northwest, and I avoid it, and I keep avoiding it because I don't like going there. It feels very cold to me. I don't like the terrain and the climate, but pretty soon we're going to have to go there because I really want to start doing the quests in that area before we get into the Civil War, because things change quite a bit in the Civil War. Towns change, and I think that even in some cases you can't do some of the quests. So I kind of would like to do the town quests, the various quests from all of the miscellaneous quests from the towns before I get too far into the Civil War, because I want to do as much as I can. I don't know how you can tell what percentage of the game you've completed, how many of the quests. I don't know if there's a way of knowing that. If you do know, please put it in the comments. Is there a way of knowing without cheating? And then if you have to hit a console thing, I hate to hit the console key by mistake enough. But if you know, let me know how I can find out what percentage. I've heard people say that they're 100% complete, and I'm curious how they know that. I know I'm probably a fraction. 10? Look at this daggone giant in the middle of the road. I hate it when I come through here because he's there every time. I hate to kill him because he's mean and they hurt you. But why is he there? Why is he begging me to kill him? I just don't recall seeing a giant along the road in previous plays. It's like, I just don't know why he's there. And it really bothers me. I suppose I'll just stop by and have a little chat. Somehow I just don't think it would go well. If anybody has never played Skyrim, then you should have a chat with the giant right after you save your game. And if you have played Skyrim before, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's an experience everyone should have one time. It's worth it. And then you got to reload after your encounter there. So there's so many really funny things like that are just special, is a good way of putting it. I love it when it rains in the game. That's one thing that I absolutely loved so much about Oblivion, and I've thought so many times about doing. I thought about which one am I going to play my first playthrough, and I thought about doing Oblivion because that's my favorite of the Elder Scrolls series. But I thought while we're waiting for number 6, which as of this recording, which is August 2022, I don't know why that guy attacked me. I know where you came from, dude, but you're about ready to die. Exploding horses. And he's still alive? What the heck? What I was trying to say. I'm sorry, I get off track. August of 2022, we are at least a couple of years away, at a minimum. So in deciding which game I wanted to start with on my playthroughs, it kind of made sense to do Skyrim. It would refresh my memory of the lore. I might actually finish it, which would be a bonus. And I thought it might have interest as people are waiting and eager and probably doing their own playthroughs or whatever. It just kind of made sense to start with this one. At some point, I may go back. I know a lot of people are doing retro. I mean, this is retro. This is an 11-year-old game at this point. But I've seen quite a few retro playthroughs. I saw some of Daggerfall, which got me interested in getting it, using it. They put it in the, what am I trying to say? Unity engine and redid it. And so I got me interested in doing that. I completely modded out that game, which I am completely against. But Daggerfall is pretty well unplayable if you don't. And I loved it, and I was watching some playthroughs of people that had been playing it. So I mean that's pretty retro, and there were quite a few people that were watching those playthroughs. So, anyways, long story short, I decided to start my playthrough series with Skyrim because I thought there would be interest, and I had interest. So. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting that Khajiit attacked me. I didn't want to brush over that. I didn't think he was a thief. I couldn't tell by his backpack that he was. I don't know why he attacked me. Usually it says thief if it's a thief. But he attacked us and we had to kill him, and it was weird. It's very strange. And he seemed pretty tough. I mean, I was shooting at him. Serena's horse exploded all over him, and he was still alive. So very strange encounter along the road there. I had a comment on one of my videos. Someone said that they're doing videos too, but most of them are how-tos and things like that. And what happens is they're running, they're fast traveling here and fast traveling there because their videos kind of dictate that. This is exactly the opposite. I don't want to fast travel. So some people have mentioned that because of the way they play, they miss a lot of content, like some off-the-wall strange Khajiit attacks us for no reason, or a giant walking along the road for no apparent reason. So you do miss a lot if you fast travel. I realized that when I was playing Oblivion. That's when I first. Obviously, if you play Daggerfall, you basically have to. I mean, you could, but you're wandering around, and I don't know. I've seen people do that in some of the playthroughs I watched. But Daggerfall was kind of a have to. I didn't play hardly any Morrowind. Long story, I won't go into that. But Oblivion, I realized very quickly that the fast travel breaks the immersion. When you just suddenly appear here, you suddenly appear there. Yeah, I know we have these transition screens, and I hate that, but it's really the only real good way to do it that I've seen. But for me, getting on my horse and traveling where I need to travel, reading the road signs, that is so much of the game for me, and just really pulls me in when I'm sitting here at my desk with my headphones on and my real life disappears for a while, which my real life is wonderful, don't get me wrong. But for a little while, I become this mage character. I become this, whatever a dragonborn is. I become this person that's trying to help this world that's in bad need of help. So, getting on my horse is a big part of that, even though I absolutely hate the horses. I sure hope they do a good job with the horses in the next one. I am so hoping. Please let them be good horses like they were in Oblivion. I love riding my horse first person, so that I can see the head bopping up and down. They even had that in Daggerfall. I don't remember. Do we even have horses in Morrowind? I don't know. But Oblivion, they were spectacular. And I have yet to see a game with a horse that compares with how that felt. I felt like I was riding it. Here I'm watching a character ride this horse. It doesn't feel like me riding the horse. Does that make sense, or am I just nuts? Well, maybe that's two different questions, and maybe I don't want your answer. I'm just kidding. That's how it feels to me. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out the best way to get where I need to go. And I think probably the best way to get where I need to go is to go through Dragon Bridge. That's what I'm assuming. I think it's interesting that when you got people traveling along the road, if you're coming, a lot of the times, if they're like across the road, they'll scoot over and get in single file. I think that's interesting. It's like, okay, I wish the bikers that ride the bicycles around where I live would do that. I hate it when they all spread out along the road. It's like, get out of the way. You should guys to pay attention to the Skyrim people. They get out of your way, and they're artificially intelligent. So that's what I'm thinking at the time. I don't know how much of the game bleeds into your real life world, but to me it does every once in a while in the weirdest times and places. So, the best way to get this is a really mountainy, rocky area, and it's such a pain in the neck to get around here because you've got these mountains in the way. Look at these mountains. Where is my pathway? Can you tell? I can't. I'm pretty sure that there is a pathway past this mill right here. I think. And I get back there, and no. There's a waterfall. I have had so much trouble with this part of the map, and maybe that's another reason that I avoid it, is because it's so difficult to get around. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can go over here. Maybe there's a path. And maybe there is. Don't know how far this goes, but it looks like it's a possibility. So it's not on the my overhead map, even my quality roads, whatever that is. Oh, some bulbs. Whatever that mod is doesn't have this road on it. But it's like, holy cow! We've got ourselves a bear and wolves. I certainly hope Serena is not too far away. What the heck? I'm 99% sure now that Serena's exploding horse doesn't hurt me. I'm pretty sure. I should sometimes, I think I've stood right next to it. And it's happened. First time I thought it did, and then I thought, well, maybe it doesn't, so I'm not sure. But that sure is cool that she has an exploding horse. It sure helps us sometimes, doesn't it? And so far, it does look like I'm getting around this mountain. It's like, okay, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure where to go. Because it's a real pain in the neck if you get down the valley and you end up...
Where'd you come from?
Oh my gosh, more wolves! I was trying to run ahead. I left my horse behind me. I was trying to run ahead so that I could figure out if I need to get my horse and help climb over a mountain or something. And so, because I'm really not 100% sure where I'm going to go. Sometimes my horse is amazing. It can help me get over things I wouldn't be able to get over otherwise. And sometimes it's like, okay, let's just kind of wander along here and see if there's a path. I don't know how far I am away. I don't know if I got to go across a mountain. There's too many I don't know, so I'm just kind of running along, trying to figure it out. It looks like there's a path. Is that a path, or is that just sun streaming down? Don't know the answer to the question. Hello, Mr. Wolf or Fox. I heard a rumor that foxes take you to treasure. Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not. I've never actually followed them around to find out. Well, it looks like that took us this path did take us over the mountain, and it looks like we're clear going to maybe maybe there's another mountain right in our face here. It's like, okay, maybe it's time to call for the horse. And hopefully Serena's with us. Yes, she is. She's right there. So we're going to keep going. Oh dear. What is up ahead? And it looks like we've got some kind of conjurer or something. Yep, necromancers. So, okay, stand right there and let that horse blow up. Took them both out. Thank you, horse. I don't know what your name is. Thank you for doing that. You're so cool. Skeletal horse. Fiery skeletal horse. I don't know what it's called. I'm trying to find the dead body so we can see what they got. And nothing. Really? I've been told that I should collect daggers, though, for the purpose of enchanting.
Anyway, just out of this.
Yes, I know, Serena. I'm sorry. So I need to make a mental note, start picking up daggers. Iron daggers. So I can use them for practice enchanting. I've been picking up a lot of cheap jewelry. Oh, look at my horse trying to come to me. Poor little guy. Okay, let's just hop on here. So I am going to... There's certain things that I can enchant for practice, and dagger supposedly is one of the good ones. So I'm still not convinced that I'm going to do enchanting, but it's been suggested to me on forums, and so hopefully between the rings and necklaces that I've been saving and maybe start collecting these daggers that I find all the time, then I'll have enough if I decide to give enchanting a try. Based on what I'm hearing and what I'm reading, it's really a good idea. And since I want to be able to give Serena much better armor, poor dear has just plain old basic armor that's not even showing up in her inventory. I think she needs a little bit better than that. So if I can get it up to a decent place, I can enchant her some good vampire armor, because I've been collecting that too, if I remember it. So I think we're almost there to wherever that we're supposed to go to find Ariel's bow. Yeah, it's right there, right straight ahead. Darkfall Cave. Yep, that's where we're headed. So leave the horse right there. And in we go. Whoop, get out of the way, bunny. Bunny trying to climb the side. Dude, I'm not going to hurt you. In we go. And a little candlelight wouldn't hurt, so that we can see what the heck. It's dark in here. Let my candlelight catch up to me. I don't know what we're getting into. Interesting. You know, waterfall areas or deep water areas are always so tempting, because sometimes, and here I go, I can't tempt it. I can't get past temptation. You never know. There could be a tripod spiderfish. Creepy. You never know what you're going to find down here. There could be chests. There could be anything down here. There could be dead bodies with stuff on them. So, you know, when I see something like that, I got to take a quick look. And I like to look behind waterfalls, because you never know. There could be something hidden behind the waterfall. So it was worth a quick side trip. Serena just got her boots wet just a little bit. Wasn't too bad. So you never know. It's worth sometimes a side to take a quick look. Man, it's dark again. Whew. And Serena's using a double-handed sword, and I'm using 2 different spells in my hands. So, I think... Oh, take that. How dare you. So that's why I keep going back and forth between my candlelight and my destruction spell. Interesting area. Very, very dark. Can't tell what's down there. Is that ore of some kind?
Stay on your guard.
Stay on your guard. You don't tell me twice. Yeah, moonstone ore. I would love to be able to stop and get that, but we got a ways to go before we Long ways to go before the day's end. And then look at this! Oh my gosh! The bridge fell, and we got dumped into the very fast-moving river, and like, oh my gosh! And the spiders, and the river, and oh my gosh! Holy tamale! It's like, that was just insane. And then there's just this whole big bunch of spiders. That was crazy. I mean, when that happened, I was breathing so fast. I was like, oh my gosh. This was crazy. We got carried off. I don't know if there was another way of coming to where we needed to be, but that was pretty dramatic. And there's something. I don't. She must be a spider or something. No, there's another spider. And I just whopped Serena. Like, dear, I'm sorry. I'm a little messed up right now. That was just very crazy. It was like going on a very sudden roller coaster ride that you didn't know you were going on. That's how that felt to me. That was crazy. Whew. Okay. Where are we going? Which way do we go? I don't know. It's so dark in here, and of course you probably noticed I hadn't even pulled up my map. I'm just following along blindly.
Why would anyone want to set up camp here?
Interesting. These people are dead. Just, is there a cave note? What did her note say? Trolls. She said there was trolls in here. Oh dear. So,
I wonder what happened to them.
sorry, Breton. We're a Breton too, so nice little chest here. Ingots, a little bit of gold, cure disease. We'll take that. So, you know, obviously they like Serena said when we walked into this place, why would someone choose to live here? And apparently they did for some unknown reason. A little gold here and there, and some potions. Looks like we're getting close to wherever we're supposed to go. Not sure. It's like I can't see. How about a mage light? So that we can see if we're going the right way. I cannot tell. Dead end there. I think I forgot to check her. Oh, wait. So, anytime I see a tripwire, I try to trip it before we go into it. At these rocks, like, holy cow. It would have been really nice if they, luckily they're rolling down the hill, but there's some that are stuck here, and if you touch them, that doesn't seem fair. And if you touch them, which you have no option not to. So Serena has to go over those rocks to come to me. Look at her health. She had no option. I already knocked them down. And if I hadn't knocked them down, she would have walked right over the tripwire anyway. So it really doesn't seem fair. The way some of this is done. I think once the rocks fall, they should stop being a something that can hurt you. But I don't. That just doesn't seem fair to me. So I said, oh, I still can't see. My gosh, all I do is do firelights, candle lights. It's okay. We're trying to make our way down to somewhere that we don't even know. We don't know what we're doing. We're looking for Ariel's bowl, and see, something hurt her. It's probably one of those daggone rocks. And really, I'm just following my gut here. I'm not even looking at a map. I'm probably missing a ton of stuff. Probably. I have no idea. I don't know if there's stuff. This looks kind of an open area.
Stay on your guard.
Yes, ma'am. Stand on my guard. That's our That's our motto for the day. It looks like there's water here. And then off in the distance, you see a guy standing there. I think maybe we should save here. This seems to be where we're supposed to
You
go.
have nothing to fear here.
Gelebor. We meet this really strange guy named
I am Knight
Gelebor,
Paladin
Knight
Gelebor.
Paladin
Welcome to the great
Gelebor.
chantry of Ariel. Ariel, Alkosh, Akatosh, so many different
Interest
names
the
for
snow
subtle
elves,
snow
huh?
elves. I prefer snow elf. The name Falmer.
You
usually
bet the
holds a
Falmar usually holds a negative
established.
meaning. They attack us
Those
every
twisted
time we go
creatures you
somewhere.
call Falmer, I call the betrayed. Of course, you're here
So
for
he calls
Ariel's
him the
bow. Why else would he
betrayed.
be here? I can help you get it, but first I must have your assistance.
Okay.
I need you to kill
He needs
Archcurate
help, he
Vertha,
says.
my brother.
I need to kill Archcurate,
The
his
kinship
brother?
between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become.
Oh,
but
so he's
no
become
longer
some
the
kind of
brother I
weird
once knew.
thing, and he wants
For
his
the
brother
betrayed,
dead.
They did something to him. I just don't know why Ariel would allow this to happen. They swept into the chantry without warning and began killing everyone without pause.
Okay.
The chantry was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the betrayed's sheer numbers. They slaughtered everyone and stormed the inner sanctum where I believe they corrupted Vertha. He's alive. I've seen him, but something's
Yuck.
wrong.
He's seen his
He never looks
weird,
as though he's in pain or under duress.
demented brother.
He just stands there and watches, as though waiting. Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty.
So he needs him
as
dead,
Paladin
but he's
of
got to
Ariel.
guard this,
An assault on the betrayed
the
guarding
sanctum
inner
here.
sanctum would only
So
end with
he
my
can't
death.
go after him.
Yes, let me show you.
So there's a way shrine, he says. And he says he's going to show it to me. He's like, okay, go ahead and show me what you're going to show me. Serena's not afraid. Look at her walking right up. She's like into this totally. And I'm like, I'm not so sure about this guy. Or what he's about to do. And like, whoa. Okay.
This structure is known as a way shrine.
He says it's called a
They were
way
used for
shrine.
meditation and for transport.
For
when the
meditation
chantry
and
was a place of
transport.
enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Ariel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center signify?
Once
She
the
just
initiate
chimes right
repeated
in.
these mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin of the way shrine.
So you need a ceremonial ewer
Next way shrine.
in the
So these
basin.
initiates had to lug
Look at
around
this.
the
She's
temple
having this whole conversation by herself.
markers. How long would they have to do that?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the chantry's inner sanctum. Pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the Archcurate himself.
So this seems
All
to
that
be
just to end up dumping it out? Makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic.
dumping. It
I
seems to
don't
be
expect
that
you
this
to
is a
understand.
passageway.
So let's get this straight.
So she's going to recap. You do all that nonsense to get into the temple so we can kill your brother and claim Ariel's bow.
I know
So
how
she's
it
saying,
was
"Did get that right?"
But if there was another
And he's
way,
like,
I'd
"Yeah,
be done.
basically, that's it.
The only way to get to my brother is by following in the initiate's
You got to follow
footsteps
in
and
initiate's
traveling from
footsteps,
way
traveling from
way
way shrine to way
just
shrine,
as they did.
way shrine
The
to
first
way
lay at the end
shrine,
of Darkfall Passage,
just like they
the
did."
cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment.
And there's
There are
5 of these
in total,
things that we have to
spread
find.
apart across the chantry. Caves? Oh no. The chantry encompasses far more than a few caves. As you'll soon
Yeah,
discover.
it's far more than a
Before
few
I
caves. It
send
would be
you on
simple
your
if it was
way,
5
you'll
little
need the
caves.
initiates you are.
Not so much.
Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral prelate tending to it. They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's
Okay.
basin.
So
as if
each
it had been
way
enlightened.
shrine is going to have someone like him standing there
This may be the last
to let
time
us
we're able
in
to converse.
to
If you have any questions
use the
before you
ewer
leave,
on
I
the
suggest you
pedestal
ask
in each of the 5.
Otherwise, all I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey.
Okay,
Questions?
so we have to survive
is
Darkfall
All
Passage.
was. The
So,
epicenter of our religion.
he said something
Most
about
of
if you have
the
any
Snow Elves
questions,
worshipped Ariel. The
before I
chantry was
go,
constructed
ask.
near
And
the
so
beginning of
it's
the
like,
first
okay, there
era,
was one more. I
to
thought we
provide
had
a
asked him
retreat
everything
for
we
those who wish
could,
to
but
become enlightened.
there was one more little thing.
Our empire had temples to some of the other deities. Trinimac, Sirabane, Yffrey, and Finister rounded out
And you
the
can
rest.
see that Serena is eager to go.
Those temples paled in comparison to the
Come
glory
on,
of the
get on with it
chantry and its
already.
shrines.
Stop with the questions.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
well, I need more
They were an
information.
important part of the process here. They represented the steps the initiates took on the path to total enlightenment.
The path to
Sadly,
total
the magic moves
enlightenment.
to construct these wonders were lost long
Serena.
before I arrived here.
Would you quit running into me? So there were a few more
Their
questions
ghosts
to
of the
ask.
snow elf priests
And it's just
tended the
background,
way
but
shrines before
interesting
they were slaughtered
information.
and betrayed. Through the grace of Ariel, they were restored to their spectral form to enable them to continue their duties. I'm afraid in their current form, they still believe the Chantry to be an active center of worship. They won't
So
respond.
it doesn't look like we're going to
anyway
get
other
much
than
help from
believing that you're
anyone.
an initiate, and you're undertaking the journey to the inner sanctum. We were once a wealthy and prosperous society that occupied a portion of Skyrim. Unfortunately, we were constantly at war with the Nords, who claimed the land
Yeah,
as
these
their
guys have been
ancestral
fighting the
home.
Nords over this land, I guess,
In
for a long
manner of
time.
speaking. We had always maintained an uneasy alliance with the underground dwelling
But
Lords, and when
the
faced
Snow
with
Elves
extinction,
moved
we turned to
underground,
them
so
for help. Surprisingly,
good news,
they
bad news,
agreed
I
to
guess.
protect us, but demanded a terrible price: the blinding of our race. There were splinter groups that resisted the agreement, and even some that sought alternate alliances.
So just some more
But when
background
it was
on
all
the
said and done, those
Snow
would be
Elves and
slaughtered,
the
vanished,
how they're related to the Falmer and the Dwarves and all
I've
kinds of
often asked
interesting
myself that
storyline
very
here.
same question.
Again,
The
this is
blinding
all
of our
added
race was
DLC
supposedly accomplished with a
with
toxin,
the
certainly
Dawn
not enough to
Guard.
evolve them into the sad and twisted beings they've become.
This is a whole nother level.
The Chantry
Has
is quite isolated,
nothing really to
so
do
it
with
took
the
some time
vampires.
for word of the dwarves' offer to reach us here. By the time the compact had been completed, it was too late for us to even attempt to intervene. Correct. We only numbered perhaps 100 at the time, so our presence remained a secret to the dwarves and the
Oh,
gnomes.
okay. Explain why he's not blind, or a lot of them are.
Of our own people. Yes, they swarmed
Right.
the Chantry in vast
betrayed.
numbers until we were completely
The Falmer
overwhelmed.
that we
We
know.
never really stood a chance. I assumed that the Archcurate was corrupted by them when they found a way to breach the inner sanctum. Verther and myself are the only two snow elves that remain.
So this whole section, this whole thing, is very involved and long, and we've already gone over. So I think that this is going to be a good place for us to stop today. Thank you again for following me along on this amazing journey. Please remember to subscribe, because that will help me continue on with what I'm doing. And I love your comments. And I also have a Patreon account. Thank you again. And the most important, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.